The games were fun. Obviously, the food looks amazing. Like you said, this is going to maybe be a new go-to spot for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime after games, come hang out, compete a little bit, play some games, and have some good food. This is a really good spot.
Absolutely, and I do want to talk to you a little bit about the baseball season and what's going on. I mean, we've seen so many young pitchers come up. Has that been exciting for you, and have you tried to take on a mentorship role with some of these young guys?
Yeah, I think, for the past few years, we've been hearing so much about all these guys that are in our minor league system. We have the #1 farm system in the league, and it's exciting and all to hear about it, but it's so much more exciting to actually have them arrive, and now it's like the future is here now. So, to have all these guys like Lauer, Luke Casey, Nix, and Kennedy, and Winginter, and all these guys that have been up, and whoever else is going to come up. It's a really exciting time for the organization, for San Diego, and for me personally, just to be able to catch these guys and work with them, and just guide them in the right direction and bring some wins to this team.
How would you say you've grown and evolved in the last 3 years?
I mean, now I feel like I'm a completely different baseball player. One of the reasons I love baseball so much is you learn something every day, and over the course of 3 years, every learning experience from failures, successes over that period of time is crazy, and I feel like I've learned so much, and I still have so much to learn, so that's the exciting part about the sport.
And to the younger guys, when they're making their first start, do they just put a lot of trust in you? I feel like there has to be some great trust between you and the pitcher.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. It's been the case so far this year. They haven't been shaking me off too much, which is good, because I take a lot of pride in the work and the research that I do before the games. And the less that they're thinking out there and just focusing on executing pitches and having us on the same page, that's where that chemistry builds and that trust builds. And I think a lot of pitcher-catcher combos have a lot of success when they're on the same page and sticking together. And the pitchers are doing less thinking and letting the catcher kind of take control of that.
And one person I'm assuming you can learn a lot from has been A.J. Ellis, just with how many years he's played in the league. Has it been nice having him, and do you guys have a great friendship and bond, and have you picked his brain a little bit over this year?
Yeah, he's one of my favorite guys to be around, and he goes out of his way to help me. I mean, even when I was on the DL, he was always reaching out, texting me, just showing me support. I mean, he just does such a good job at, whether it's verbally or just by example, he shows how to be a leader in the clubhouse, how to show everybody what it's like to be a professional. He's really a true professional.
And you mentioned that time on the DL. When you had to take that time away from baseball, were you able to reflect at all? What did you learn during that time?
Yeah, I did a lot of soul searching, if you will, and just kind of understood myself a little bit more. It's tough. You want to be out on the field. It's very frustrating to not be on the field, especially with the team, with the guys. They're grinding. You want to be in that grind with them. But I think it was good for me. So obviously, everything happens for a reason. So it brought me to where I am today, and I'm proud of that.
And since you've been back, you have had a hot bat. What do you attribute that to? It's been so fun to watch.
I think during that time, I figured a few things out, just especially mentally with my approach, just staying committed to that. I think when you stay committed to whatever makes you successful in the box, it's so much more mental than it is physical. So just relying on that every day, as opposed to just trying to change my swing or change my mechanics every day. It's all about that approach.
And I always like to end on a high note. So looking at the season so far, what has been a high moment for you, or a moment you'll look back on this season and be proud of?
The last road trip we just had in Chicago and Milwaukee, we won 4 out of 7 games. I know to some people it might not stand out that much, but it was the way that our team came together, and we were just one. It was like when we were hitting, we had this 8 or 9 versus 1 mentality, and I feel like we had so much fun and energy, like Hunter's grand slammer to win the game in Milwaukee. For some reason, that was one of the highlights of my season so far. And that whole road trip, I think it really brought us together, and I think it's a really big stepping stone for us moving forward as a unit. And I think we're going to look back on that series as something that helped us get to be a championship ball club.
All right, well, thank you so much for the time. I think we can hang out, eat the rest of this, but we really do appreciate you being here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm always going to remember that I beat you.
You did. I will always remember too.